Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to teach you all about supplements and how much to give your bearded dragon. So one thing that is confusing for a ton of people, and it's understandable, it's a lot to take in, is supplementation for bearded dragons. Now you're going to see calcium with D3, calcium without D3, you're going to see multivitamins with D3, without D3. Let's talk about what D3 is and which one do you need. So the difference between this and the difference between this is that you're gonna want to have proper UVB. Now I stress this in all my videos, to have proper UVB, you need a T5 high output UVB bulb. And what that does is it allows the bearded dragon to make vitamin D3. It allows the bearded dragon to absorb calcium. When you have proper UVB, your lizard will be able to make his own vitamin D3. If you don't have any UVB, even if you give calcium with D3, he's not going to be able to absorb this at all, and that's why we see bearded dragons with no UVB, with metabolic bone disease and deformities in their bones. But if you have UVB and it's kind of weaker, you can give this and they will be absorbed because they are getting UVB. But you need proper UVB, and if you have proper UVB, like I said, they will be able to make their own D3, and you don't have to get calcium with D3, you can get it without D3. So proper UVB includes like Arcadia T5 high output 12% or 14% UVB bulbs, as well as the Zoomed T5 10.0 bulb for a bearded dragon. Now it also depends on height, and if you want to know what that is properly for your setup in your tank, I have a video on that as well. I have it linked in the description. But if you have the UVB, you can get all your supplementation without D3. Now, if you are scared, you can go with D3, but I would say if you have the UVB, definitely don't. Just go ahead and go without D3. It's gonna be perfectly fine. They will be able to absorb this, and I can attest to that. I have proper UVB. I have bred bearded dragons. My lizards have they have developed eggs with calcium. They do not have metabolic bone disease, and I've always used this. Now you might ask yourself, why do they still sell this if this is what we need if we have proper UVB? Well, proper UVB just is kind of a new thing. We didn't always have this. UVB has been jumping in technology, and that's why this exists. And also a lot of people who have like leopard geckos and they don't use any UVB because for some reason bearded dragons cannot without UVB, bearded dragons are just not going to be able to absorb calcium. That's just plain and simple. But for leopard geckos and other things that are nocturnal, they don't need the UVB to absorb that. They can absorb that through the supplementation with the D3. So that is going to answer the question that you have there. So if you have proper UVB, go ahead and get it without D3. You don't need it with D3. Now that we know what you need, how much do you do it a week? So I'm gonna start off with the Reptivite. This is a multivitamin. There are plenty of multivitamins out there. You can choose whichever one you want. I use Reptivite mainly because I've been using it for a long time. I've used others as well. It doesn't matter, they're all pretty much the same. I just get it without D3. So with this multivitamin, I like to do mine every 2 weeks to once a month. So I'll do it once a month because sometimes you just forget, but once a month, every 2 weeks, that's perfectly fine. Dust your animals, and I'm gonna show you how to dust those as well. Like I said, you can do more if you want to. It's really, I don't think it's gonna hurt them too much. I myself, I feel like it's just so much that we're giving them that I do kind of just keep it to once to three times a week. Because if you're giving a varied diet that includes like tons of different insects, and you're dusting with this, having different amounts of greens, then you should be fine. It's gonna be, and the UVB is gonna help them absorb the calcium. They're gonna be absorbing calcium. You don't have to worry too much. But if you're just feeding like dubia roaches constantly, and you're just feeding them like romaine lettuce, yeah, you probably have to do this like 7 times a week with this as well. But like I said, myself, only 1 to 3 times a week. You can do it more than that if you want to per week. It's entirely up to you on that point. Like I said, these are just like vitamins that humans take. Humans take vitamins as well. It's the same thing, but you do have to be careful. Like I said, sometimes too much of something is not good. I like Coca-Cola. I know not to drink a ton of Coca-Cola. Do I drink it anyways? Yes, it's delicious. You know what I mean? So that's why I limit this to 1 to 3 times a week, because I do feed a varied diet. So I don't have to worry about too much about just feeding one thing and is he getting enough. It's varied greatly. So like I said, 3 times a week, 4 times a week if you want to. You can even go 7 on the calcium without D3 if you have proper UVB. And once every 2 weeks to once a month. And you don't have to put this on any greens, just the insects. Now, dusting the crickets. How do we dust them? How do we get the powder onto the crickets? Well, this is actually very simple, and a lot of people have it a lot of different ways, but I'm gonna show you my way. It's kind of ghetto, but a lot of times I just get like an old like sour cream box or something, like a deli cup that's like plastic, an old food cup. I wash it out. I open it up. I get a dab of the stuff. I put it in there. You don't have to do a lot. A little goes a long way with this. I put the crickets in there, I shut it real fast. The deeper the cup, obviously you don't have to worry about them jumping out. I'm a rebel, I'm a gangster. I like to play my cards, a gambler. So I have a short cup. You can go taller, that way you don't have to worry about them flying out. You know, I shut it, give it a little shake, open it up in the cage, they can run around, or you can tong feed if you want to. You can just grab the cricket one by one and give it to the bearded dragon. But doing this, like, that's why I say, like, I only feed my my bearded dragons calcium 1 to 3 times a week. They do get a ton of calcium on the insect, and that's why I feel like, you know, it's a lot of calcium they're taking in if you're doing it 3 times a week. But some vets say you can do it every single insect feeding. That's up to you. That's why I say you can do it. But for sure, definitely try to give them calcium, because the insects they eat are not the insects that are found in the wild where they're from. So that's why we supplement. If you're thinking to yourself, like, in the wild they don't need this, but that's because in the wild they don't eat dubia roaches. Dubia roaches are not from Australia. Tons of the stuff we feed them are not from Australia. They eat like wild spiders. They all, like I said, they eat a way varied diet than what we have in the hobby. We're feeding, a lot of people just feeding just crickets, a mealworm, that type of stuff. So that's why you do have to supplement for that diversity loss, if you will. Anyways, that's my quick guide on supplementation. It seems hard, it is confusing sometimes. I hope I clarified it. If I didn't, you can join my Discord, ask me all about it. You can even drop it in the comments if you want to. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and I helped you. I will see you next time.